All right, what's up, everybody? Today we're going to do something really interesting, and I've never done this before. This is going to be ChatGPT versus a real physiotherapist. So, what we're going to try to do is we're going to compare the plan that ChatGPT makes compared to something that I would make for my clients and athletes. We're going to take a common example of an ACL injury, somebody who's going through ACL rehab, and let's see what ChatGPT comes up with. So we're going to do this live. Keep in mind this ChatGPT has been reset, so my account is not attached to it, as you can see on the top right. So hopefully this is kind of like a brand new blank slate for ChatGPT to make. So let's type in a typical case like 28-year-old female, um, went through 8 months of ACL rehab, wants to go back to playing soccer and go hiking confidently. Typical case. And let's put in create a exercise progression plan to help her return to soccer safely. Punch that in. Okay, so it looks pretty good. We've got different phases, it looks like. We've got a rehab and recovery maintenance phase. We got a strength and conditioning phase. And we've got a functional movement and agility phase. And I believe that should be the last one. Let's see. Okay, we got multiple phases. Okay. Sport specific, return to play at week 17, which is like 4 months, and some additional tips. Okay, let's break this down one by one. Starting at the top, this looks like, okay, so this is kind of confusing already, right? So we're looking at, I put in 8 months already, 8 months of rehab. So does this plan start at week 1 of 8 months? Or, okay, yeah, I think this is like at 8 months, this is what this person should be doing at 8 months. So we're looking at phase 1, which is weeks 1 to 4. And if we scroll down, each of the phases are about 4 weeks long, right? So that takes us to, 9 months, 10 months, 11 months, 12 months for sport preparation. That would make sense. And then finally, return to play at week 17, which is 4 months post 8 months, which would take her to be 1 year post-op. Okay. So now that we have a general framework of how this is telling us, let's actually look at what they're suggesting here. So phase 1, rehab and recovery maintenance. I don't even know what that means, to be honest. The goals are achieve full range of motion. I would hope that she would have already full range of motion at 8 months. So this is definitely not realistic most of the time. Regain quadriceps and hamstring strength. Very broad, very generic. I would hope at 8 months you have pretty good quad and hamstring strength, definitely. Improve neuromuscular control and proprioception. That's something that you would do pretty much your whole life. Pretty much your whole life. Key exercises. Oh boy. Quad sets. So quad sets. This is honestly, guys, like this is something that physios often give out in like the first week or two of ACL rehab. Not something you would see at 8 months post-op. Straight leg raises. Again, very basic. This is something you would do in the first like week or two. Hamstring curls, heel toe raises, step ups, single leg balance, very basic stuff. So that is definitely not something relevant at 8 months post-op. I would hope so, at least. Strength and conditioning. Okay, let's see what this is telling us. Increase lower body strength, muscular endurance, and coordination. Again, very broad, makes sense though. Let's look at the exercises. Body weight squats, lunges, bridges, resistance lateral walks, leg press, single leg deadlifts, step ups with added plate. Yeah, no, this is something that we probably prescribe closer to like 3 months, maybe even 2 months post-op. Definitely not at 8 months. These are very basic things that the patient should have hopefully mastered, just body weight squats, lunges, bridges at this stage. Let's keep going. Phase 3, functional movement and agility. So we're beginning to enhance dynamic stability, begin sport-specific movements, continue strength and mobility work. Again, very generic, don't really know what that means, but let's keep going. We're looking at box jumps. Okay, we'll look at something interesting here. You guys know how I feel about box jumps for plyometrics. I've made a video on this previously, but let's keep going anyway. Lateral bounds, shuttle runs. Okay, so these are things that kind of mimic soccer-like movements, right? So that's at least a little bit better, but I just don't see a good progression from body weight squats in the previous phase to now doing cutting and jumping right away. So there's definitely like a big gap there that we want to try to kind of bridge, because you're not going to go from body weight lunges and squats into box jumps and lateral bounding. You probably need to work on single leg control and stability. They didn't have any mention of single leg stuff in there, so definitely something that we should consider. And lastly, I think we're looking at sport preparation. So this is closer to 11 months, 12 months post-op. Okay, train for specific soccer movements like dribbling, passing, shooting. That would make sense. Enhance reaction time and decision making on the field, super important. Increase agility and plyometric exercises. Makes sense. So it's a lot more soccer specific drills, which is great. But I would hope at this stage the strength has been developed on the ACL side, and hopefully there's some kind of testing to do before we clear them out on the field. So yeah, so these are generally decent. I wouldn't say good, I'd say decent frameworks, but definitely missing a lot of gaps like single leg work, single leg stability. There's no mention of testing at all. There's no mention of strength testing. And definitely the plyometric progressions, they keep bringing up box jumps as expected. So definitely a lot more to plyometrics than just box jumps, guys. A lot more than that. Return to play. So we're hoping this person can hopefully clear for soccer practice and games. So the goals are full integration to soccer practice and games, injury prevention and warm-up, which is good. Gradually return to competitive intensity, which is actually really good. So I do like the key considerations here, saying they take things gradually, so not rushing. So taking a gradual approach, maintaining with rehab, so keeping up with strength and mobility work makes sense, and focusing on recovery in between. So that's good as well. And additional tips: listen to your body, warm up, cool down, knee bracing, potentially, and progression. So there you have it, guys. That was very interesting. I've never seen this before. I'm definitely surprised. Definitely surprised at the exercise progressions. It does seem like it kind of skips from, body weight squats, lunges, all the way to soccer-like movements or plyometrics. So I think all in all, ChatGPT does a decent job of giving a framework, but this is definitely not something that I would or many of physios would prescribe if we were having a client at this stage. We would definitely have more of a progression-based criteria. So we would potentially go from strength unloaded, so just body weight, going into single leg strength unloaded, progressing to single leg strength with load with a bit of tempo changes. So we would have a lot more variables in between, and definitely more testing to make sure that we're able to perform plyometrics safely. There's definitely some cueing that we would use in plyometrics to make sure that your joints aren't taking on too much load and your muscles are able to absorb them. So all in all, it's missing a lot of things, and I would not recommend ChatGPT to be your main primary resource for ACL rehab. At least if you want to do it properly. Like, you're more than welcome to use this if you don't have high expectations of your goals and you just kind of want to live life and walk around with your family or just kind of live life. But if you have sport goals, this is definitely not even close to how we would program. So hope you enjoyed that. We tried something new here. I've talked a lot here, so hopefully that gives you some value, some insight of how I would think in these situations. But let me know what you think about this video. If you like it, give it a like and give us a follow. And let me know in the comments if you enjoyed it. We can make more stuff like this. Thanks, guys.